What is a jumpy buyer? It is time for your April 2022 Hoboken Market update, and we'll dive in and figure out just what a jumpy buyer is and what you should know about them before you list your home. Hey guys, it's Jeff Bonk here from the HB Group in Hoboken, and we have the honor of working with so many buyers and sellers every month. Last month, I think it was 35 or 40 different people that we helped find a home, buy a home, rent a home, find a renter for their home. And it gives us a lot of experience, and we're able to really see market trends at a high level. We also study the numbers, we dig in, we track week by week by week, how many places listed, went under contract, we're listed for rent, we're taken by renters. And we take all that together every month, we put it together, we package it up to really come to some ideas and some different things that the market's showing us that we think our clients or anyone who's thinking about buying or selling in Hoboken in the next few months should really think about and know. So I put three different big indications that were really showing up in the numbers and what we're experiencing, and then two different takeaways, one for buyers, one for sellers, of how you should be interacting in this market to make sure that you're not wasting money, you're not wasting time, and you're getting the home that you really need for you and your family. Let's take a look at the first thing here. We have a lot of talk in the overall media about things slowing down, right? Interest rates went up, buyers are scared, buyers don't say purchasing power anymore, so things are slowing down. And yes and no. We saw two different tales. There is some of that, but there's also some other things. That the first piece I want to look at is days on market. And that's usually how quickly things are going off, right? It lists on a Monday and 7 days later it's gone, or 10 days later it's gone, 20 days later it's gone. Days on market were at 17 days in March, in Hoboken. In April, they went down to 11 days on market. So one indication that the market's not slowing down as much as maybe some people are saying in the media out there, and some of the headlines are really making everyone believe. Another thing to look at is we saw the percentage of closing price to asking price was actually up 3%. In March, it was 99%. In April, it was 102%. So people are actually having to pay over asking price on average for a home in Hoboken, which again, not really a huge sign of markets slowing down. Now, some things are leading indicators, some things are lagging indicators, some things happened a few months ago, some things are happening in today's market. So it's important to look at everything. But the first two indications are really showing us that buyers are strong. Buyers are coming into the market and willing to pay good prices in quick amounts of time as soon as places are hit. The third thing does show us a little bit of a slowdown, right? Inventory is slightly up. It was 160 in March, was the average amount of homes on the market at any one given time. And in April, that ticked up slightly to 180. Now, not a catastrophic move. I think a big piece of this was a lot of people were on spring break. A lot of people were going away. And also people planned to list in the spring too. So there was more stuff that hit the market, less that went off as quickly. We also we own ourselves, and some clients own Airbnb properties, and they saw a big drop this year in bookings. I think a lot of people were flying this year. Restrictions came off, masks on airplanes came off. A lot of places didn't have a strict COVID testing to get in and out of countries. So there was definitely just some less people in the marketplace. There's definitely interest rates that played into things. We're having conversations with buyers every single day about how much they can afford now, what their price differences are going to be. They're getting to our lenders and they're really recalibrating. So there's a lot of different dynamics, but I think the key here is that although there might have been a little less activity, the activity that did happen was stronger. So what does that mean? What does that actually mean as a buyer or a seller in today's Hoboken real estate market? The first thing is for sellers to beware of jumpy buyers. What is a jumpy buyer? This is something we started seeing late March, early April, and it's really accelerated way quickly into the end of April and into the beginning of May. And this is a buyer who puts an offer on your property quickly, a strong offer even, and then jumps. They jump to another property. And there's a reason this is happening. In January, February, early March, buyers had to be making offers on multiple properties. They had to be putting in 3-4 offers a week if they needed to secure a property, because they probably get outbid on 2 or 3 of them. So it just became the normal way buyers were acting. Now they're putting in 2 or 3 offers, and they're actually having maybe 1 or 2 of them accepted, because they're still acting as there's maybe a little bit more demand and a little less supply, even though the inventory is ticking up. So we actually had an offer come in that was 15% over asking price in the first day, and they jumped to another property an hour after they submitted that offer. We always are asking, does your buyer have offers on other properties? It's new key word that comes out of our mouth the first second we get an offer, because we need to make sure we're advising our sellers to make decisions properly. Now, luckily for that property and a couple other ones, there were buyers right behind them at the same price or even better sometimes that come in, right after that jumpy buyer leaves. But if you're putting all your eggs in one basket, or you're trying to like really hold out and drive up the number, and you think maybe I can wait for a second offer to come in and string this buyer out and play him off another buyer, this may not be the market to do that in. It was a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago. But in this market, you have to be careful of doing that, because that buyer can and many times will jump to another property if you take more than a day max to get back to them and really communicate. So know that, be prepared for that, and be aware that it's happening in the marketplace. Buyers, what does this mean for you in today's market, given the information we looked at? Look, if you're willing to, right? Some buyers are like, I want what I want. I'm not willing to compromise. I'm not going to do any work. I'm not going to move a few blocks away from the ideal area I want to be. Fine. If that's you, know that there's going to be competition there. Those are the hottest properties. They're moving quickly and they're moving at higher prices. But the secondary market right behind them, the places that, maybe they need a little bit of work. Maybe it's a flight up of stairs rather than an elevator. Maybe it's a few blocks away from the area you really want to live in. Those properties are sitting a little bit, right? Not a lot. Things are still moving quickly. Like inventory didn't go from 160 to 400. It went from 160 to 180. But they're sitting a little bit. We're starting to see some things in the market, 20, 25, 30 days, that there's some activity and some opportunity to negotiate with. So take a look at that, and maybe even look beyond that to the second MLS. There's a shadow MLS that not a lot of people, not a lot of agents or buyers are even aware of. And these are the properties that are listed temporarily off the market, or they're listed withdrawn, but conditionally withdrawn, which means they're still signed with an agent, but they're not just ready to sell right now. They're true for now. And a lot of people, they went on vacation. People are getting COVID a little bit more, unfortunately. Luckily, it seems like not as severe, but people are getting COVID and they're having to stay home. They're not allowing people in their houses. People are changing their plans to buy in the suburbs or other places because interest rates went up a little bit. So they're taking it down for a second, recalibrating. But a lot of times those places, if for the right price and the right buyer, they will still decide to sell. Or maybe they're coming back in a week. And if you or your agent has access to those other listings on that secondary MLS, you can really get ahead of the curve and get ahead of some other buyers who haven't even seen them yet with a little bit of proactive action. So it's something that we're doing every day with our clients, and it's something that you should definitely be looking into. If you're having a hard time finding that right property, look at that second MLS. So guys, I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any questions about your particular situation, real estate is hyper personal. So reach out to us. Let us walk through your specific situation with you, take you through what that market and what it's doing and what that means for you and your family and your situation. And we can get you to the right place at the right time, the easiest and best way possible. So hope you guys have a great May. We'll see you next one of these in June. Year's flying by already. It's ridiculous. But I hope everyone has a great May. And we'll see you guys in a few weeks.